Hello, today we're going to be taking a closer look at the Wreath Builder bundle from Gina Designs. I got mine from myperfectstamp.com here in the UK. Obviously if you're in the United States you can order direct from Gina Designs. Myperfectstamp.com has a really nice range of different stamp brands, some that are a little bit more unusual and not so easy to get hold of here in the UK. We tend to have to search sometimes to find some of the US brands, and it's really nice just to see them all in one place. And I'm really impressed with this set. I mean, the polymer that the stamps are made from is really nice. And I have had so much fun today playing with this set. It has been so versatile and so easy to use. In the bundle, you get this stamp set. There's some really nice sentiments, some floral elements, foliage elements, and these circular frame designs. And you get the two Wreath Builder templates, a 3 3/4 inch and a 4-inch one. Now, all of the samples that I've made and the one that I'm going to be showing you today, I've used the 4-inch template. And really, just depending on how you layer up your stamps and the colours that you use, you can create some totally different looking designs. And I've had so much fun just playing. So I'm going to move these samples out of the way. I'm going to get my stamping platform, because you do need a stamping platform to use this, and I'll show you how it works. So I've put the 4-inch template into my stamping platform here. And basically you need to cut a piece of cardstock 4 inches square, and that will fit inside the template. And you're able to rotate it and create evenly spaced designs. So I'm going to choose my first element, and for this I'm going to choose one of the foliage ones. And what you need to do is decide where you want it, where to start. So for example, I'm just going to start here. I've got one of my magnets just holding my template in place, and I've got one holding my piece of cardstock in place. The cardstock does fit within the template, but just for added security, I do like to put a magnet and hold that down. And the ink pads I'm going to be using today are my Distress Oxide ink pads, because they work really well with these stamps. So I'm going to begin with Lucky Clover and one of these foliage stamps, and I'm just going to ink up my design and stamp it. And then I'm going to rotate my piece of cardstock to the next position in the template, pop my magnet back down again, ink up my stamp again and stamp it. And I'm going to continue to do that until I end up back at the start. And that's my first rotation completed. So I'm just going to clean this stamp off and pop it back in the packet. And then I'm going to choose my next stamp design, which I'm going to choose a different leaf design. Decide where I want that to fit in my wreath, and I'm going to use Evergreen Bough this time, and I'm just going to repeat exactly what I did last time. So we're going to ink the stamp up and stamp it, and then rotate and repeat until we get back to the beginning again. And there's our second rotation complete. Once again, just going to clean that stamp off, move it out of the way. I'm going to take a third design, another one of the foliage stamps here. Again, looking at you know, what I've got down, where do I want this one to fit. Going to place that one there. And this time I'm going to use cracked pistachio ink. And there's my third rotation completed. Now I want to add some flowers. I want to add this tiny little flower. I'm convinced at some point I'm probably going to lose this one. And I'm going to add this in a couple of places, but as with the foliage, we start off in one place and go all the way around. And I'm going to use shaded lilac for this. And I want to add a couple more of these flowers, so I'm just going to clean the ink off this stamp so that I can reposition it. I'm going to place it there this time, and again just repeat the rotations until we get back round to the start, still using the shaded lilac colour. And there we are, back at the beginning where we started. So next I'm going to add my sentiment to the middle. Now you can stamp directly into the centre, as I'm going to do now. You could stamp onto another piece of cardstock and then die cut it out and layer it up if you wanted to. And so lots and lots of different options. But in this instance, I'm going to use one of the little frames. So I'm just layering up where I'm putting it. And the nice thing about these frames is the stamp is actually, it's a solid circular stamp. Obviously it's only going to stamp the design around the edge, but it hasn't been like cut out in the middle. So it's not going to sort of get misshapen when you move it. Which sometimes if you've got just like a frame, it can sort of wobble about a bit. But this, it's going to stay in a nice circular shape, which is what you want. So I'm going to ink this up using the shaded lilac. And then I'm going to choose myself a sentiment to put inside. And I'm going to use the wishing you the best birthday ever. And again, I'm going to stamp that in the shaded lilac, just keeping this a really nice sort of simple colour scheme. I'm just going to let that ink dry slightly, and then I can make that up into my finished card, and I shall be back to show you that in a moment. So here we are with the finished card. I've just matted onto some black cardstock and then used a complementary backing paper in the background, a bit of 3D foam tape underneath this layer here for a bit of dimension, and that's created a nice 6-inch card. This one here was created very much in the same way. I angled the foliage stamps in a very similar manner, so we've got the same sort of shaped wreath, just don't have the flowers around the outside. Whereas with this one, I've used exactly the same stamps again as I did on here, but instead of swirling them around, I've kept them angled out more as I've gone, and it's given a really different look to the style of wreath, and especially with the colour scheme. We've got a nice autumnal colour scheme here, which worked really well with the grateful sentiment. Also, I've stamped the sentiment so that it's on the diagonal rather than square on, just for a different look. This one here, I just took the circular frame design and used that and worked in a rotation, and it created sort of like a spirograph effect. Just clean and simple, nice and easy card, quick and easy card there. For this one here, instead of sort of overlapping and creating a single wreath, I started on the outside and then gradually positioned my stamps in just to create concentric circles. And again, it looks totally different, but done in exactly the same way. And finally, this rectangular card, created in the same way. We've got foliage and floral motifs, and once I'd stamped them all out, I cut the piece of card in half horizontally and just moved them apart. So that's the top half there and that's the bottom half. Just put this embossed strip in the middle to hide the gap, and then that fits perfectly around an oval die cut rather than a circular centre. So again, just showing the versatility of what you can do. Obviously, you don't have to use these stamps with the template. Once you've got this template, you can use any stamps that you've got. And it's just so much fun to create all these different looks and designs, all in the same way, and really quite quick and easy to do. And I'm looking forward to doing some Christmas cards. We'll do something very similar to this, and then maybe use some little red pearls or something to accent the wreath, and it's going to be great fun. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And if you're in the UK, please go and check out the link to myperfectstamp.com below and see what they've got in there. Some really, really nice stamps, and I can definitely vouch for the quality of these Gina K ones. It's the first time I've used them, and I'm really, really impressed, super impressed with them. But for now, bye.